Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jumpscare and Betty.
And I'm Chad.
This week we're covering 825 Forrest Road.
This town just has really old homes, but with very good bones. This place is about the same price, but twice the space.
Sounds like a red flag, right?
I feel like we're gonna find dead bodies in the basement.
Hello there.
You my neighbor?
I am.
Dealing with some housewarming issues since moving in.
The previous owner killed himself, Chuck. You didn't mention that?
Everyone here has been affected by her in some way.
Dreams are the worst.
It's like an infection. She stays with you once she's in.
Who are you talking about?
Helen Foster. I sometimes wish we had an addiction of some kind, but we've got her.
You don't know how to stop it.
Because it can't be stopped.
It can be stopped if we find Forrest Road.
Forrest Road.
825 Forrest Road.
Trust me. Don't look for it. Just get out of this town. It's real. It's all real.
While everyone is waiting for Hell House lineage, Stephen Cognetti decided maybe I should make a film to kind of tie everyone over. And he created this one. And let me tell you, I'm watching this film, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a Stephen Cognetti film. I'm a huge fan. I'm trying to think, or should I say huge fan? I really like the Hell House series. I've seen the first one at least 4 or 5 times. I'm dying to see this next one and like what's going to happen.
I was kind of surprised this one wasn't a found footage, to be honest.
It had elements of found footage, but it wasn't completely.
I could have seen where this could have easily been turned into a completely found footage movie.
Well,
it could have been, like people recording on their phone. Just like all the others, there could have been people recording on their phones. Because there was a lot of times where, like the one, Isabel is recording like things on her. She's got like a little audio recorder that she's recording things to talk to and send to her therapist. That could have very easily been video things that she was recording.
Yeah.
And then things happen in the background like in all these movies.
Well, the synopsis of this film is there has been a family tragedy and a man named Chuck, his wife, and Maria, and his little sister Isabel go to start their life anew in this place called Ashland Falls.
Yeah, Ashland Falls, Pennsylvania. Don't move anywhere that sounds any remotely like Transylvania.
Or with falls. Cherry Falls, wink wink. Don't move to any place that's falls.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, don't move any place named Falls, any place that's named Wood, Springwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Any place Field. No Haddon Fields.
No.
Smithfield. All those places are bad.
Stay away.
Yeah.
This family
Yeah, any place this name spells something backwards, don't live there.
This family definitely should have stayed away. So I saw the trailer probably a month ago, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm about this. That looks creepy. This looks creepy." Went into the film. Before I go and really say nothing good about the film, I want. Don't make me laugh. I wanna state again. I love Hell House LLC. I love the series. Okay, and I was really looking forward to this. And I think maybe a part of my dislike of the film is my fault, because I really went in with high hopes. I went in thinking I was going to be scared out of my mind. Even to this day, when I watch Hell House LLC, the first one, I still get like creeped out. Okay, I had a fear of clowns for a really long time, and I had definitely, by the point the movie came out, like I think it was like 2015, I was like, okay, comfortable with seeing like scary clowns, or just clowns in general, right? And that probably is what's driving my love for the movie, right? Because I kind of like, just, like exposure therapy kind of thing. This movie, and I say that what I said in the beginning, that it was kind of like, oh, like, hey, here's something to hold you over till I make the movie that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
Because this film was like, I can't say fake, because the guy that created Hell House created this film and directed the film. But it was like maybe this was a leftover shit from Hell House that he was like, oh, this doesn't fit my thing, because it had him written all over the place.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, okay? I'm gonna really like break it down. We got a creepy ass mannequin, okay, which he used throughout the entire series. The clowns. The house is always filled with some creepy ass. Mind you, yes, the freaking house was made to be a haunted house. So there was going to be mannequins and weird shit around.
Yeah.
Got that. Creepy piano play. That was, at one point, I thought there was going to be like, not an homage, but like a Easter egg. Like she was going to play, or he was going to play like one, like, or two keys where it's the Abaddon like house, like, I thought that was going to happen. So creepy play, which I did enjoy that part of the movie when the ghost, it is a ghost. Yeah. Now,
so here's the thing that really bothered me about it was that, if the sister had been like 14, 15, I would have been like a little more understanding of why they had to move to a whole new town, start over, give her a sense of stability and life and all this. She's 18 to 19 years old. She's an adult. She's getting ready to start college or continue college. I'm not sure. They were kind of...
It was start college because she said that she got a scholarship right off the bat.
So she was going to start college. They said she was going to start college in about a month. So she could have just slept on their couch for a month.
She could have, or she could have just moved directly into the campus.
Yeah, started a little early. I mean, I'm sure the college would have been like, okay, you need to move a little in early because your parent died and you need a place to live.
Yeah, it's not like it was a 3 or 6 month. It was just 1 month, 30 days.
They could have found a way to get him. Like I said, if the college wouldn't, she could have slept on the brother and sister-in-law's couch for a month before she started college. But they moved to another town, started over, and I know they made it a thing later. They said, well, he has a lot of guilt because he didn't spend much time with her growing up and all that. Still could have done that in college, because I got the feeling that the college wasn't that far from the city or anything either.
It wasn't. And the story was very broken. There was a lot of holes, and we'll go through most of them. But this is definitely a spoiler cast, so if you want to watch the film, you don't want to know what's going to happen, then this is the point where you need to turn off the podcast.
But that's the thing. I mean, I feel like if they had made her younger, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, it would have, but...
If she'd have been a freshman in high school.
But you're being a little insensitive, I'm going to say. And just a smidge. I get what you're saying. I kind of agree. But the whole thing, when I stated family tragedy, she happened to be driving a car and her mother was a passenger and they got into a car accident and the mother died. Okay, so she's going through a lot of trauma. It's fresh. It's not like this happened like a year or two ago. It's pretty fairly recent, this accident that happened. Yeah. So I get where maybe he felt like he needed, like you stated, he needed to be there for her because he kind of abandoned. That was the other plot hole. They really, really put it like hard, like, oh, you left me, you just left. And it's like, one, was the brother supposed to stay there forever? We don't really know why he left. I always got the impression like he just went to school, like he just went off to college, or he went to go start his life.
Yeah, the brother looks to me, what would you say, 30 to 35?
I would say in his mid-30s. Unfortunately, the little sister, and this is no way, shape, or form any kind of negative comment on how anyone looks in the film, but the film kind of gave me like 80s, 90s vibes where a person's supposed to fit this certain age bracket, but they look not that age bracket and they look a little older because the sister, I thought she was like between 23 to like 25 years old. I did not think at all that she was 18 or 19 years old.
She looked older than that.
Yeah.
She would not be carded to get into places that required you to be under 18 or so. You know what I mean? They would look at her and go, oh yeah, she's fine.
Yeah. And I see that how when you are watching the film, like you said, the age and where she was in her life and like what, her appearance would kind of like throw you off to like, why isn't she just not on her own? Like, she gonna, like, she could have done these other things. But nevertheless, here we are. She's living with the brother. And we never find out why the brother left. He just did. And, went off to have his life. And there was a lot of resentment between him and the sister. Well, it's from the sister's point of view on that. Because he was, I guess he was, I don't want to say sad about it, but he wasn't like, fuck you, get over it. But at the same time, I don't feel like he had a lot of remorse. I don't know. He was just kind of like leveled on it. Like, it just happened. That's what I had to do.
Like I said, he's like at least 15 years older than her.
Yeah.
So even if you say he's 33 and she's 18, he's at least 15 years older than her. So if they said it's been like 10 years since they talked, okay, that would have still made him around 23. You know what I mean? So he would have been just like finishing college, starting his life. They needed to explain a little more, like, was mom abusive? Did he go off and leave her with an abusive parent or something? They didn't get that impression, but it was hard to say why she was so upset that he left. I mean, I guess that, like, okay, we didn't have much contact, but why? Why didn't he have much contact? Did something happen? That was a thing that bothered me. They never bothered to explain it.
They don't bother to explain a lot of things in this movie, so we're going to move on to the other elements of how this is very similar to Hell House. They also had a mix of, like you said, there were elements of found footage and interviews and old recordings, which is like all of Hell House, like the whole thing. That was went towards the end when the realtor, who BTW fucking sucked at her job, because she didn't know anything about the property. She didn't know the owner of the property actually had been deceased for like 3 years or some crazy crap. And she didn't know that the state of the roof was super old and not new, as they stated. And the inspector that went out.
And I thought that was going to play more of a part into it too, because
they made such a point about it.
And then they just dropped it.
They sure did, like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, and like you said, that is the worst realtor ever. And why would you, if you were a realtor, be like, these people are kind of my friends, and I'm going to get them a house in what I'm going to call the murder town. There's murders, there's suicides all over the place.
Yeah, no, there's only suicides. It's a suicide town.
Well, there's also the murders in 1980 when the entire town council was murdered.
Yeah, but that was like so 80s. And she wasn't even born in, right? Let's just say.
Still, like, don't get your friends. Would you set your friends up in the murder town?
Are they into it?
Even if they are, I wouldn't set my friends up in the murder town. I would be like, no. maybe you should go and live Murder Town adjacent.
I think maybe, and
Commute
this is
into Murder Town.
in any haunted house scenario. It really the bones, okay, the foundation of any haunted house. Name me 29 movies, and I'm going to tell you what it all is going to come down to. How cheap the house was, okay? The house was cheap as fuck, and they were like, we are gonna... Amityville. House was cheap as fuck. They're like, we can't move. We don't got no money. The one with the kid, Insidious. Also, house was cheap as fuck. Every time
But they did move in Insidious.
They did.
That's the only haunted house movie where they were like, did. We are the fuck out, bro. And they just sold that house. And like, yeah.
That's what made that movie unique, but we can't talk about it.
We took a bath on that house, but we got out.
Of
course, it turned out it followed them, but they didn't know that at the time.
They didn't know. But they did make the effort, though. But yes, that's all it comes down to, the money, okay? The money. And I think that played a big role on why maybe she thought, well, they're hard on cash. Like, now he has to take care of the sister. Like, we later find out that the wife is a little ill. And, you know, he needs money. Like, he needs to keep all the coin in it, even though maybe finding about the really fucked up roof would have helped him keep more of his coin, but okay. So then after all of these atrocities, like after all of this crap that she just didn't do a good job on, she had the audacity, okay, to be like, I'm gonna need you to do me a positive review on camera.
I'm gonna need a video testimonial talking about what a great job I did.
Yeah, and I'm like,
okay,
is that a fucking joke? Like, that shit was crazy funny. So later on in the end, when they whip up with the camera, I was like, that's some Hell House shit right there. That's how the fucking film started. Like, you have the crew doing the interview, you know, with the girl, discussing what happened to the house, because she's like the lone survivor, right? So, yeah, when they came out with the camera, I was like, okay. So now let's go back to the mannequin, okay? Because the mannequin plays a huge part, okay? Now, the actors, bless all of them. You know, I know that a lot of reviewers are saying out there that the acting was terrible and the actors didn't do a good job. I think, you know, you do the best of what you got. And they did the best that they could. I actually wasn't off-put by their acting at all. Because
the only guy I thought was a little off was, I'm going to call him Neighbor Exposition.
Oh, my.
Neighbor Exposition, when he just stopped by, hey, how's it going, neighbor? Oh, you bought the Hell House, did you? You know, there's a lot of suicides in there. Is your sister okay? Does she have mental problems?
Yeah.
You know that's a thing around here, right? But I'm going to walk away now. But I did like the fact that when he said, keep an eye on her, you never know. And then he walks away, and the guy said, that's all you're going to say? And then you're going to walk away? What the hell?
He's like, the library has a lot of information. And I'm like, what? Like, what is going on?
Look at the Friends of Gardening. Wink.
Wink. Yes. What was his name? Neighbor Exposition?
Yeah, Neighbor Exposition.
Oh my God, that's the most amazing name. Yes. For real. That actually did happen, and he was totally fitting that title. The mannequin. So, the wife, okay, of course, and this is where kind of like the I want to say found footage, but like computer IT bullshit.
Yeah, it's found. It could have been if this was a found footage movie, if this was that mind, body, spirit, this would have fit right in with that kind of thing.
Yes. The film is broken up into 4 parts, and each part, it starts with Chuck. Each chapter is the perspective and the experience of the one individual. So we got the brother.
I did like that because you see things from the husband, from the wife, and then from the sister, yes. And then at the end you kind of see it all like mixed together, like everything that's happening. You see a little bit of it mixed together. I really enjoyed.
That's the one thing I did like about the film.
I like that, but the creepy mannequin. You know, Stephen King's always been very critical of the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining because he was like, Nicholson seemed insane from the minute they got in the car. It didn't seem like the hotel changed him that much. It seemed like he was already a crazy asshole. And then he just, when they stayed at the hotel, he was like, well, I'm killing everyone. And then just started off doing that. And I feel like this, when you have the creepy mannequin all dressed in black that's looking at you with the murder eyes, and it's just got like a creepy hand and all this, you're like, you brought the murder mannequin into the murder town, set it up. Did you think the ghost wasn't going to come in there? Even if this town had never been haunted before, if I went and dressed up a fucking mannequin like the woman,
Victorian, by the way,
like the woman from Insidious, and put her in the fucking dress, and had that just standing in the corner.
It was really a man, but yes,
I would expect within the week a fucking ghost would move into that. A demon, some sort of evil spirit would just be traveling through the neighborhood on the fucking ghost roads and pass through and be like, oh, well, shit, I might as well inhabit that.
It didn't help that she had nice Victorian clothes already on, okay? Yes. And she had a full set of, like, curly as fuck hair. Like, the hair was very full. Who doesn't want to move into that? And the body was looking good. Like, mannequin body. So it's like the perfect thing for a ghost to fucking step into.
Male, female ghost, doesn't matter. They travel through, they see this, and they're like, I will fuck some people up in this. And just move right into the mannequin.
Now, the actors had to now perform the monologue, okay? The going back and forth of the mannequin, okay? And because you can't just have this mannequin in the movie and no one's gonna fucking address it, where it came from, why the fuck is it there, why are we traveling with this, why this shit was not burned in a fucking fire, okay? We need to know. So of course she's like, what, I've had this mannequin since college and this is my good luck charm, this is my mannequin, whatever. And she's just obsessed with the mannequin. She loves the mannequin. It's been there since the first thing. She's a seamstress that has like an online store. She does vlogging about the clothes that she's making for people that have asked her to make clothes. And
because of course she does.
And yes, and they make $1 billion. She makes $1 billion a year. So the mannequin is always in the room. And just like in Hell House, of course, the mannequin's up to shenanigans. Like, the ghost is like, thank you for providing me this fucking body. She going outside for a stroll. She's smoking a cigarette. She's fucking she's playing the fucking piano. She's drinking lemonade. What is the mannequin not doing? The mannequin's rearranging fucking dishes into fucking towers, which is what the mom used to do. She used to set them up in a pyramid. She's leaving notes. There was one time she left a note. She's doing all kinds of things in this mannequin body. She is living her best, ghost life.
This was like the mannequin, or if the mannequin was already haunted, it just got activated when they crossed the town line. It was like, thank God we're finally in a fucking haunted town.
Now, when she's not in the mannequin body, she looks straight up like Angela from Night of the Demons when she's real fucked up in the face, right? Yep. Real messed up. She looks just like that. I felt like what she was wearing mixed with her hair, it was kind of like Rona Ryder when she's in the red dress with the hair.
Yeah.
With the spiky hair, right? It was a mix of Rona Ryder from Beetlejuice. And yes, Rona Ryder from Beetlejuice, right? Mixed with this other chick that I just mentioned. Combined. Right? That's what this Night of the Demons, that's what she looked like. Okay? That shit was scary. There was some pretty decent jump scares. Now, maybe I'm a little punky in that way that I got punked because Shad did not blink a fucking eye. Because
no, there's some pretty good ones. There's at least 5 really good jump scares in this movie. I'll give you that.
Definitely. And like Stephen, let's just talk, like real talk right now. I love Hell House. I don't know if I have said that enough in this podcast. But why you did this? Like, why did you make this movie?
I feel like this would have been a little better if it was found footage. If it was like the sister talking about, like, sending vlogs to her
therapist. Because she was talking
on the recorder. Talking to the therapist. And then, like, you could cut in with some of the stuff of Chuck. Like, he could have a camera set up in the room to record the piano. So he was doing, like, piano tutoring.
Yes.
Because he could have just said...
Of course he's a piano tutor. We got to have the piano in this film at some point because we got to have creepy piano playing, and that's the only way that's going to be explained.
Yeah. He could have just said, hey, I keep a camera set up in here just for everyone's safety.
Yeah.
That way there's never anything said wrong that goes on. You know, the camera's always in here pointing that recording is. Then you could have had little things happen on the camera. The same thing with her doing her vlogs with her, like, you know, where she's doing all of her, like talking to her followers about the dresses and all that kind of stuff. Because one of my favorite scenes in the movie is where she's actually doing her vlog and she's talking about like, oh, I've got this stuff coming up. We had a great sale, blah, blah, blah. And the mannequin starts moving its hands behind her.
Yeah.
And she starts getting text messages from people going, get the
From her
fuck
sister.
out of the house. And other people like DMing her, and people are like, get the fuck out of the house. The mannequin is moving.
No, backtrack, no. They never told her what was happening. The sister called her like 3 times, and she was bothered because she's like, my sister, who's an avid watcher of my show, knows that I'm sure she's watching. She knows that I'm recording right now, and I can't just have a conversation, so I'll call you back later. When your sister called you, not 1, not twice, 3 times, then she sent you a text message that says, get out the house. Don't question it, girl. You get your shit up, you fucking get your sewing needles, or whatever it is that you need to get, and you get the fuck out, okay? And then, with your phone, and then you call your sister, sis, what's up? Like, why did I have to run out the house? You saw a fire? What's going on? But that was one of the many things that annoyed me about the film, that there was never the mannequin is moving, like you just said, or bitch, the mannequin's haunted. Something to get the sister to leave the room before she gets brutally attacked. Okay, because she did. But she deserved it because she's stupid. So, now... I can't express enough, like, okay, I did like, because I'm not going to sit here and just shit on everything. I did like the 4-part, like from the different views. I also, one of my favorite parts was the student comes over to play the piano, and he asked her to play some keys, and she just is not good enough, okay? Mind you, she's there for lessons, so no one thinks she's going to be fucking Mozart.
Yeah, as soon as he hits the thing, he goes, it's okay, don't be embarrassed. I'm here to teach all skill levels.
Exactly, which was very kind. He goes to the kitchen to go get her something to drink, okay?
Okay, now this is the scariest part of the movie for me.
Yes.
When he pours her this glass of water, and this is the cloudiest, nastiest water coming out of the tap I've ever seen in my life. Dude, give her something in a bottle. This water came straight out of the tap looking white in the cup.
Now,
like you could not... When you hold a glass up to the light, you should be able to see through it.
You could not.
You could not see through this water. It was so cloudy and murky. Like, don't be drinking this. Don't even fucking boil your mac and cheese in this shit, okay? Start using the fucking Evian to put in your pot, because this, you definitely need some kind of water purifier in your house, dude.
Spoiler alert, that's how the people died and became ghosts. They had drank the water.
That was the scariest part. But anyhow, he goes to get her the water. And
at first he hears that she's trying to play the keys, whatever, and then all of a sudden she's a fucking master fucking pianist, and he's like, oh, I see you are holding back, and he starts walking back, and then all of a sudden the girl appears out of nowhere, and it's like, the woman is playing the piano, just a woman is playing, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, the fact that I wish I would have seen, like, how she, like, the girl was sitting down at the piano bench, so that the lady just, like, scooch up beside her and just fucking start playing the piano, like, she's in a fucking old-timey fucking saloon, like, I don't understand. Like, how did that happen? The girl just jumped out the seat? Like, I don't know. But nevertheless, that part I really liked. I thought it was really fucking creepy, because, again, creepy piano. And, you know, then you're like, oh, ghost. So he does see her there, right? Like, really quick, like, just like her figure.
Yeah.
And then...
No, I think he doesn't see her there. We see her as he escorts the student out. The student's like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be coming back here to this place. This is creeping me the fuck out. So and he's like, well, what did the woman look like? And she's like, I didn't see her face. I got the feeling she saw her face and it was all fucked up and she didn't want to say. Didn't want to say, I think I saw a demon woman in your house.
No, I don't.
Or she thinks because, you know, the people in the town all knew the legend of this Helen Foster that haunts the town.
Yes.
Maybe they thought, she realized, this is her and I don't want to talk about this.
Now that we've spent a lot of time, this is going to be our longest podcast, okay? Because I have so much more to say. Okay, so now that we spent a good amount on that. We're going to go into what the whole goal is in this movie. So, right at the beginning, there's a college student. She's talking to her friend via, Zoom. And they have discovered...
Whatever happened to Skype? Remember people Skyped?
Yeah, people did Skype. It's no longer the dodo. So you come to find out that these two girls actually found what everyone is looking for. And the town is being haunted by this Helen Foster, and they think the way to get rid of, and this you gotta love the townspeople because they're always wrong. They think the way to get rid of this ghost is to find the original ghost's house and burn it down.
Do you think it's at 825 Forrest Road?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So they, and the girl being Ashley, she actually was on the right track. For like fucking decades, people are looking for this, and this college girl, just fucking figure it out, because everyone was looking at the basic ass maps, but no one was looking at the infrastructure and where the electricity was running towards, because the town, after the whole 80s thing, decided they were gonna limit and become smaller as a town, and everything got like bordered out. So
they shrunk the borders of the town.
Yeah. So that's literally what we come to, where Chuck, he attends the gardening thing, and they're like, this is what it needs to get done. We need to find this road. We need to find this house that's on this road that no one knows where it's at, and that we feel is going to be...
That's another thing that I feel they dropped too, because there was a whole group dedicated to trying to find this thing and seeing if they could do something about it, or a lot of them were.
Yeah.
And then... in the end, they never really came back into play.
No, it was just the...
Neighbor Exposition even disappeared at one point.
Neighbor Exposition did disappear.
After he took into the group, we never heard from him again. We never heard from any of the people of the group again. I was expecting at least someone to be like, oh, another so-and-so died. And he'd be like, another member of the gardening club? But we never heard any more from him at all.
No, it's like they were just half-assing it. They just wanted to get together to complain and be scared together, but yet they were not going to do anything to take any action because they were too afraid, because she had such power over them and was like harassing them, which is like, okay. So this is what I also got in the movie. You never really get to understand what actual like mischievous or like hauntings that... besides she was like Freddy Krueger at one point, where she's going into people's dreams, was actually doing to the gardening club or the people that spoke about her, because then how she actually had to look at her. And that's why I said the girl, when the piano that left the piano lesson, was like, I didn't see her face, because if she had seen her face, she would have been infected like Ashley was, and she would have gotten all that bruising around her eyes and started bleeding out of her nose, and that's how she gets you. You can't look her in the face. But they never really solidified that at all. You just have to just fucking take a guess just based on what happened to those two characters. Those two characters actually faced her head on, and she saw their face, and then they got infected, and then eventually it led to their death. So it's like, you want to be like The Ring, or I'm sorry, you want to be like The Grudge, where it's like a curse, and she's like cursing everyone and doing all that stuff, but at the same time she's like Freddy Krueger and popping into dreams. You really don't get what her fucking like ghost like powers or whatever.
It seemed like she had a lot of different powers.
Whatever random bullshit it was like the manatees from South Park. It was just whatever they jumped up in the ball and put in the fucking machine. That's what was going to happen. That's the power she was going to have at the moment. Whatever was, convenient for her. That was also annoying. And then they're trying to locate where this house is. While all of that is happening, we said earlier that Maria, she got infected, and she looked upon, Helen Foster's face. And really, Helen, like, that's where you're going. Oh, but never mind. I feel like you should have gone for another name that wasn't, like, Candyman related. So they looked upon Helen's face.
They're taking Helen back.
And now she's all ghostified. She's possessed in some way, sense, or form, because the ghost, we said, has many powers, right? So she has a bit of ghost in her. And this is the perfect opportunity for a realtor to come in and do her fucking interview.
And I'm sorry, when you saw the wife's face and she's like, her face is like gray looking and her eyes are like...
Her eyes look like she got punched by fucking Vander Holyfield like fucking 2 times in the fucking eyes. Like the eyes were just all blood socked, like all of the eye, all like red, fucked up. Like she looked crazy.
And a little while later she's like, no, I'm fine. I've got the bug eyes now and a great big smile and I'm fine to do all these things.
I'm fine. Like, no.
No, bitch, you not.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and I say this with the highest of respect, okay? No ethnic person who's going to look upon this woman's face and be like, yeah, she fine. She would, the ethnic people, no, I'm out. Like, they would have left, okay? I got to go. Make whatever fucking excuse. I left the fucking stove on. I got to go. Because there was no way that they were going to look upon this woman's face and say, yeah, she good. She good. So yeah, she was not good. And they start asking her the bullshit questions, you know, how did you hear about us? And, you know, whatever.
She starts reciting Helen Foster's story.
Oh my God.
And at the point that, like, if you're the realtor and the person starts bleeding from the nose and telling creepy stories, your camera starts glitching and the camera operator's seeing demon faces, why are you still there?
Yeah, that was she really wanted this testimonial. Like, she was like, okay, and maybe this lady's joking around, she's playing around. She gonna get to the testimonial. No, she wasn't. She wasn't gonna get, every time you try to, like, snap her back into fucking reality, she was there for a second, and then she went in straight back into the monologue. And it wasn't even like she said 1 or 2 sentences. She literally said the whole story. No one stopped her. Everyone was just sitting there like, okay, this is happening. There was no questions like, hello, what are you talking about? What's going on? Are you all right? Who is this? No. I think there was one question throughout her full fucking time that she's doing the monologue. Now, we did forget to mention that the sister, Isabel, did have a friend at her college that she was going to be attending, which it's like, okay, how did she meet this person? They haven't started classes. They never said she was going to orientation. She just moved there. But yeah, she got a friend though. And it's a guy. And I'm like, no guy in the fucking universe, unless he's in love with the woman, okay? Or the sex is fucking amazing. And there's no other woman. Every other woman that lived in the town was 80 plus years old. And she was the only young one. That he was going to help her or stick around during this fucking insanity. But yet, and also he's ethnic. But yet he did. And I couldn't fathom why he did that.
At the point that he was like, oh, hey, I met your mom. And she was like, whoa, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, your mom let me in downstairs when I came in earlier. And she was like, my mom's dead.
Yeah, and in her pictures on there, he's like, yeah, that lady that's in, who's that lady in the picture with you? That's the lady that opened the door.
But that was her. Be like, I would have never gone back to that place. That'd be like if you go to someone's house and you go, hey, your son let us in the door. And they're like, our son died 5 years ago. Well, there was a little boy dressed like a sailor that just let me in. You know what I mean? Like that.
Oh, Timothy.
Oh, Timothy, I think we have to go now. Yeah, I left the stove on or whatever. I've got to go back. No, I'm not hanging around there.
No, so yeah, so Isabel had asked him to kind of like stay behind while her brother and her go, you know, look for the 825 Forrest Road. And
I thought they were going to go get the gardening club to go with them.
That would have been the smartest thing to do because that was like the whole point of the gardening club, as you had mentioned before. But alas, no. That's another like thing in the plot that kind of just got like forgotten. There's, like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of holes. So then we come upon, alas, by the way, the friend is the one that literally caught on to what Ashley was doing, and he's the one that helps him on and tells him it's the infrastructure and like
look for the power grid.
Look for the power grid. So he helped them out in that regard. They finally find the house. The house, hello, lives up to the fucking creepy bullshit, right? All jacked up, like with the bordered fucking windows, haunted house 101 look, right? They get in there.
I like how their goal, by the way, was to go burn the house down.
They have no...
They brought no gas.
No gas.
No kerosene.
No matches.
No matches. No
I thought he had a
lighter.
Zippo lighter in his pocket. That's what I said.
Like, nothing to burn the house down with.
And then
I
they
guess he
walked
was
there,
gonna
which
run-
also... And I know you said the road was closed, but the car could have gone through.
It was a very wide, grassy road that they walked down to get there. They could have driven. Yeah, so they could have easily driven down the road, but, you know, they just came so unprepared. This is like you're going to go fight Dracula, but you came with no wooden stakes.
No garlic.
No garlic.
No holy water.
No holy water. No
You just came with the clothes on your back.
You came with the clothes on your back and a toothpick, and that's how you're going to fight Dracula.
Yeah, I don't understand what that was even about. It's like you're just selling... It was like you made me watch this movie however long, over an hour long. The movie was like, I think it was like close to 2 hours.
It's
like
an
an
hour
hour
and
and
40
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? My whole life. Okay? I watched through this whole thing to see, I don't know, a ghost battle, some kind of fucking resolution. You just literally wanted me to see these characters die. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Like,
when things go south at the house with the realtor, like you knew they were going to, it was pretty cool how everything went crazy.
Yeah,
there.
that was fine. And I'm okay with that. But you built this, you had this story arc, you had this whole complicated, it was like maybe Stephen decided, you know what, I want to do like a Lifetime drama, but I want it to have like some psychological like thriller aspects with some jump scares. And that's the movie that we got. Because it is definitely a slow burn, but it's like you just set up these characters to get murdered, and it's like, but we're invested. They're brother and sister. Are they going to get the relationship? Like, which, saying this out loud just sounds fucking ridiculous, but as an audience, you're making the audience feel a connection between these two human beings that went through this large loss in their life. They're trying to repair their life. They're trying to move forward. Now they're fucking in this terrible situation. He has to show up for the sister, you know, and fight for her or try to fucking save her. And then you kill them both. It was like, what was that all for? Why did you do this? What was the point? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's why I feel as though like this might have started out as a found footage movie, because almost every found footage movie ends with everybody dead.
That's very true.
I think the only one I can think of, maybe I'm wrong, but the only one I can think of where the people don't all end up dead at the end of the movie is As Above, So Below. And that one actually shows how the people survived and how the footage made it out.
Yeah, that's actually one of the best found footage movies.
Yeah, I love that, because every found footage movie doesn't have to end with the people dying. The footage can be found just because we made it through this, and this was the footage we had left.
Yeah. This is the only proof that we went through this.
Oh, another one is, what is the name of it? It's like Ghost Encounters or something like that. But that one I actually kind of like, because there's a great scene where they show the people, they like to go up to the guy and they're like, have you seen anything around here, like ghost-wise or haunted-wise? They talk to the gardener outside the abandoned insane asylum. He's like, I haven't seen anything. There's nothing out here. It's abandoned. And they're like, here's $50. And he just goes, this place is mad haunted. I have seen shit that would drive you crazy. He just starts talking about it. They just handed him money just to say this shit. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Grave Encounters, that's the name of it. It just dawned on me. Yeah, that the first one of that one's pretty good. The second one, nah, not so much. But the first one was one of those ones where you see it and you're like, oh, someone actually made it through the found footage movie. Cool. But, you know, again, it doesn't happen often.
So another thing that upset me. So now we have them, they're in the house, right? While they're in the house, on the other side, as we stated, we have the crew filming and all that. That's all going on.
They're doing the testimonial for the real estate, for the worst realtor in the world.
Yes. Now, I don't know how this gets figured out, but the whole thing was that they went to the abandoned house to burn it down with the non-matches they went with, right? And they're touring the house. Oh, and
they
Chuck,
find the old hidden box under the floorboard.
Yeah, first of all, when you are going into a house you've never been before and it has, you know, ghost fucking energy, and you know that this house is fucking mad evil and people have been trying to find it for, you know, decades.
Let's split up. Velma, you and everyone else go that way. Scooby and I will go this way.
Yeah, like, no, especially if that's your sibling. Like, stay together, you fucktards. Like, what the freak? So then that, they split up. He is like, oh, alas, what is under this floorboard? It happened to be pristine, letters from God knows when.
At least the 1940s. And here's the thing. Right off the bat, when he picked it up, I said, look at the address. Look at the address. He does not look at the address. He turns the envelope away from him where he can't see the address.
Yes.
And then takes the letter out, reads the letter, and realizes, oh, shit. This is Helen Foster writing a letter to this house. She actually lives at, oh my God, she lives at our house. That's where she lived.
Because when they were looking at the plans of the freaking city, he came upon that their house, the original, before they have set the limits, the borders, the original thing of the house reminded me of Gilmore Girls. There's a whole episode of Gilmore Girls that they go back to the old town names of the streets. And she gets like, we're going to say like Measles Road or something. Something crazy. Oh, it was like, something wild. So it was like 6 Rose Lane or something. And the wife is like, oh, that's so pretty. Let's rename that. So the ghost house they've been looking for the whole time is, they live in it. They're living in there, which makes the most sense because that's where the ghost is haunted. Like, he's haunting the house there. I mean, it's never really said if the ghost is moving from house to house or where Ashley lived.
Well, the ghost is traveling around because remember there's scenes of like at the gardening club where they are like, oh, we saw the ghost. Everybody get the fuck out and go home.
Yes, she is traveling because we did say
they shut down the fucking. Here's the thing too. At the point where like Freddy Krueger is just walking the streets with the claws out, clicking them together. They're going like the fucking warriors with the bottles going, come out, come wherever you are. Get the fuck out of town.
Town?
If you can't be in just walking the streets in the town without looking for Jason behind your shoulder because he's just walking the streets freely, get out.
Also, of course, you're looking down it's the insidious fucking hall, the red hallway, okay? Of course there's going to be a ghost in the fucking red hallway. Anything with a red light, stay away. Like, don't look down the hall. And of course it's like it was a Titanic and she was just there floating around.
And then they randomly, earlier in the movie, they had the sister who was going to school on an art scholarship. They're just like, he's like, oh, this is really good. What is this? I don't know. It's just a random house I drew. Surprise, it's the one they're looking for.
Yes.
And here's a creepy shot of me with a creepy hand reaching out of the doorway to grab me. I hope that's not some kind of premonition that we won't explain at all.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, so now she could see into the fucking future. And then he's like, where did you do these? I have no idea. I have no recollection of when I painted said pictures. It's like, what? What do you mean? So that, again, another thing dropped. We're just going to mention it because it's convenient at this time, and then we're going to move away from it. So now they're in we're going to call it the Crawley house, or the Crawford house, whatever. I forgot the name of the damn friggin' house that they were in. The other people. So while he's reading the letter, you have the wife doing the whole monologue, because she's, possessed. And the whole monologue is how these group of kids were bullying her daughter, and the daughter came home with a bloody nose, and she writes to all the parents of the children to leave her kid alone, and she goes to the town, and she goes and she says this and that, and no one listens to her, no one helps her, and that's when she ends up with that council meeting where everyone mysteriously dies. So that is the whole freaking thing.
That's not exactly how it was. The council meeting happened years later, but still.
Nevertheless, she
was a 1940s ghost.
She kills everyone, and she comes back. No, okay. The whole thing is she does come back and kill the people. So she's going around doing these things. What the heck? That wasn't her house. You just stated in the letter that he has in his hand, the address, because there's an address to the sender, right? And there's
which is the 825 Forrest Road.
Exactly.
Which somehow along the line it got mixed up that the address she was writing to complain about the bullies was her address.
Yeah, which we don't know how that got confused.
I don't know really how that got confused.
And then her house was the Rose Lane house that they lived in, and that's what I'm saying. That was her house because
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
it was Rose Lane. That's where she lived, so that's where she was haunting the most. The most haunting activity was happening there. That's the house that needed to get burned down. But it doesn't. But this is my other question. They're in the house. You see the scene playing out. Once he finds this, he runs to his sister and tries to find her. There she is standing in the long, narrow hallway. That seems familiar. Maybe we just saw that maybe 40 minutes ago in that creepy drawing that she drew. Which looked like a little miniature man, but I guess that was supposed to be her. And that she's there and she's like, I'm so sorry. And she's shaking her boots. And then a weird, creepy black hand grabs her shoulder. Who the fuck is that? The ghost is possessing the sister-in-law, because that's happening at the same time.
So I guess she just abandoned that and then went off and took her ghost form again and just
decided to kill them and kill them there.
Yeah, instead of waiting until they got home.
Yeah, it
was the Elmer Fudd. Do you want me to kill you now or wait till we get home?
It didn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
And it gets 2 stars from me. I guess because 2 knives.
7 years we've been doing this and you still can't remember knives.
It's our shtick now. This is like our thing.
Okay.
This is our thing now. 2 knives. I did want to stab it more than 2 times because I was very upset.
I think I might have already said it, but if I didn't, 2 knives.
2 knives.
It's okay. This is one of those movies that if you don't think about stuff on it, it's fine. But the more you think about it, the more you're like, wait, what? That didn't make sense. So if you just kind of turn your brain off and watch this, it's fine. The jump scares are good. I like the structure of it. The actors are all fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
This is the other thing.
Okay, here we go.
So, exposition guy stated that there's a lot of suicides, okay? The whole town is suicides. There was the one occurrence of murders in the 80s, okay? But now the people in the house, which is the filmographer, the real estate agent.
They're going to find the realtor, the videographer, the college student, and the wife are all going to be found.
All dead. Dead. They didn't commit suicide. They just dead.
We didn't really see what happened to them, but we got the idea it was bad. So maybe she just made them all kill themselves? I don't know. They didn't really say.
Maybe she possessed she already has the wife possessed, so maybe she kills them. But the way that the action and the camera's going about, it just seems like very ghostly, like she's just attacking them.
So it could be that maybe she kills them and then leaves the wife, and then she kills herself.
She leaves and then she speed walks all the way to 825 Forrest Road.
Oh, she is a ghost. She can just pop in where she wants.
She was just floating around in the red light hallway of the gardening club. Yeah. So, but for my thing, I'd rather see her walking down the street, Oh, there goes that old Helen Foster again, just terrorizing people. That's like the old 80-year-old man, sitting on the bench, just eating his fucking popcorn. Just
waiting for her to get there.
Feeding the birds.
But yeah, so there was a lot of stuff like that you're like, really? Okay.
So so then she goes and she kills Premonition's sister and the brother who
we don't really know. We didn't really see it.
Okay, yes. Technically, and fucking Hollywood.
There's a little bit of room.
Off camera.
They could pick this up with a sequel and pick it up later they're walking out of the house or something. We don't know.
Maybe the brother doesn't look her in the eyes directly, but the sister does, and now he has to save the sister's life because they were able to untangle themselves from the ghostly black, and then the hand was all black and shining like a demon. It was more of a demon-esque hand. I'm exhausted by just thinking about it. You're right. When you overthink it,
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. So if you're going to watch this film, then don't think about anything. Just shut your brain off. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on another podcast, Jumpscare podcast. Stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.